Life is full of harsh realities that many people prefer to ignore. It's like we're all running around, chasing this idea of happiness and fulfillment, but we're constantly bumping into these uncomfortable truths that we'd rather just pretend aren't there. But man, it's in those shadows, in those difficult realizations where real growth happens. You can't just ignore the full spectrum of the human experience. You gotta lean into the darkness to appreciate the light, you know? So, let's dive into some of the most painful truths that we often avoid but need to acknowledge for a more profound understanding of our existence. We all wear masks, man. It's like a part of our daily routine. It's part of being human, a way to fit in and adapt. Think about it. You act one way around your buddies, letting loose and being carefree, another way around your boss, more formal and composed, and a whole different way around, like your grandma, showing respect and tenderness. It's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just how we navigate different social situations, adapting to the expectations around us. But it makes you wonder, right? Who are we really beneath all these layers? Is there even such a thing as a true self? Or is it just an illusion we chase? Or are we all just a collection of different masks that we put on and take off depending on who we're with? It's a trip, man. A real mind bender. And here's the thing, sometimes we even wear masks around ourselves, hiding our true feelings and fears. We pretend to be more confident, more assured, more put together than we actually are, creating a facade of perfection. We create these narratives in our heads about who we want to be, our ideal selves, and then we try to live up to them, pushing ourselves to meet these expectations, even if it means suppressing parts of who we really are, hiding our true selves. It's like we're all actors in our own lives, you know, playing roles, performing for an audience. It's a wild thought, but maybe that's just the human condition. This one's a tough pill to swallow, but it's true. People often respect money more than the person who possesses it. It's a harsh reality that many of us have witnessed firsthand. Think about it. How often do you hear people talking about someone's net worth, like it's the ultimate measure of their worth as a human being? It's almost as if the more money you have, the more valuable you are perceived to be. It's like we've been conditioned to equate wealth with success, with status, with power. Society has ingrained in us the idea that financial success is the pinnacle of achievement. And look, I get it. Money gives you options. It gives you security. It can open doors that would otherwise be closed. It can provide comfort and opportunities that are otherwise out of reach. But it doesn't make you a better person. It doesn't inherently improve your character or your values. It doesn't make you more deserving of respect. True respect is earned through actions, through kindness, through integrity. In fact, I've met some incredibly wealthy people who are absolutely miserable human beings. Their wealth hasn't brought them happiness or fulfillment. They're entitled, they're out of touch, and they treat people like crap. Their money has isolated them from the realities of everyday life. And on the flip side, I've met people who are struggling financially but are some of the kindest, most generous souls you'll ever meet. Their lack of wealth hasn't diminished their humanity. So yeah, money matters, but it's not the end-all, be-all. It's a tool, not a measure of a person's worth. Don't let it define your worth or the worth of others. True value lies in who you are, not what you have. This one's deep, man. It really makes you think about the complexities of human relationships. The people we love the most, the ones we hold closest to our hearts, the ones who are closest to us, who share our joys and sorrows, are also the ones who have the power to hurt us the most. It's a paradox of love and pain. It's like when you open your heart to someone, when you let them in, you're also making yourself vulnerable to them. You're exposing your deepest emotions. You're giving them the power to break your heart, to disappoint you, to betray you. It's a heavy burden to bear. And that's a scary thought, right? The fear of being hurt by those we trust the most. To think that the people we love the most could also be the ones who cause us the most pain. It's a harsh reality, but it's also a testament to the power of love, you know? Love is a double-edged sword, because when you truly love someone, when you care deeply, you're willing to take that risk. You're willing to face the potential pain. You're willing to put your heart on the line. to be vulnerable, even though you know it might get broken. Because the joy, the connection, the intimacy that comes with love, it's worth the risk. It's what makes life beautiful and meaningful. Music and emotions. This is something I've thought about a lot. Music hits differently depending on your mood, right? When you're feeling good, you're drawn to upbeat, high-energy tunes. You're tapping your feet, you're singing along, you're just vibing with it. But when you're feeling down, when you're going through something tough, it's the lyrics that get you. It's like the music becomes a mirror, reflecting back your own emotions. You start to hear the pain, the longing, the vulnerability in the singer's voice, and it resonates with you on a whole other level. It's like they understand what you're going through, even though you've never met. Music can be incredibly powerful, man. It can make you feel seen, understood, and less alone in your struggles. Character revealed. This one's all about character, man. It's easy to be a good person when you've got everything going for you, when you're successful, when you're surrounded by loved ones, when life is good. But it's when you're faced with adversity, when you're struggling, when you've lost everything, that your true character is revealed. How do you treat people when you have nothing left to give? How do you handle success? Do you let it go to your head? Or do you stay grounded, humble, and grateful? These are the moments that define us, man. It's easy to talk the talk, but it's a lot harder to walk the walk when times get tough. Now, it is time to talk about the truth of superficial judgments. Let's be real, we live in a superficial world. People judge each other based on appearances all the time. It's human nature, right? We're drawn to what we find aesthetically pleasing. But it's important to remember that beauty is only skin deep. A pretty face can hide an ugly heart. And someone who might not be conventionally attractive could have the most beautiful soul you've ever encountered. Don't let yourself get caught up in superficial judgments. Look beyond the surface, man. Get to know people for who they really are, not for how they look. The journey of achievement. This one's about the nature of success and failure. Think about it. When you fail at something, it usually happens in public. You screw up a presentation at work, you bomb an audition, you get rejected by someone you're interested in. It's embarrassing, it's humbling, it can be downright painful. But when you succeed, when you achieve something great, it's often a much more private affair. You celebrate with your close friends and family, but you don't necessarily shout it from the rooftops. It's like failure is loud and public, while success is quiet and personal. And that can be tough, man. It can make you feel like you're the only one who's struggling, while everyone else is killing it. But remember, everyone fails. Everyone experiences setbacks and disappointments. It's part of the journey. Isolation in poverty. This one's heavy, man. Poverty is about so much more than just a lack of money. It's about a lack of opportunity, a lack of resources, and often a lack of support. When you're struggling to make ends meet, it can be hard to maintain relationships. You might not have the time or energy to socialize. You might be embarrassed about your situation and withdraw from your friends and family. And let's be real, some people will judge you for your financial status. They'll distance themselves from you because they don't want to be associated with your struggles. It's a harsh reality, but it's something that a lot of people experience. Importance of trust. Trust is everything. It's the foundation of any meaningful relationship, whether it's with a partner, a friend, a family member, or even just someone you work with. When you trust someone, you're essentially making yourself vulnerable to them. You're saying, I believe in you. I believe that you have my best interests at heart. I believe that you won't hurt me. And that's a powerful thing. But here's the thing about trust. It's fragile. It takes time and effort to build, but it can be broken in an instant. And once it's broken, it's incredibly difficult to rebuild. Apologies can only go so far. Actions speak louder than words. The harsh yet beautiful reality. These truths, man, they might be uncomfortable to think about, but they're part of what makes us human. It's like acknowledging the darkness, the pain, the struggles. It allows us to appreciate the light even more. These truths, they don't have to bring us down. Instead, they can be like guideposts, man. They can help us navigate the world with more empathy, more compassion, and more understanding. So embrace the full spectrum of the human experience, the good, the bad, and everything in between. Because it's in those raw, honest moments that we truly connect with ourselves and with each other.